Hey everybody, Jason here, IronTrap Garage. And you guys saw in my last episode I was making motor mount plates so I could sit my 389 engine in my 32 Ford. And right now I'm going to begin the process of, or I should say try, and make sub rails. So that way I can get rid of all my bracing in the body, so that way I can work around like a normal person, if you'd say. Alright guys, let's see how she goes. Alright guys, so here we are. I had to move a table outside because I don't really have a whole lot of room in my garage right now. And this is the subrail material that I'm using that I need to clean up, and I'm going to be using the Eastwood SCT. This material is the same stuff that Matt has used in the Stroll and the 33 in his 3 window. I picked this stuff up about a year ago and just going to go ahead and, like I said, clean it up and get this to a nice shiny metal. Okay guys, so you saw in my last shot there that I was using the SCT to go ahead and strip the material down, and this is why I want to get rid of this cross bracing so that way I'm able to get inside the truck and work around and do things that I need to do. Alright, so hopefully this picks it up. I'm going to use a infrared thermometer, but we're going to be running the bracing. Yeah, you can, kind of tough to tell, but we're going to obviously be running across the frame. Going to be going across from the back over, and depending, because I have a factory hole over there, but it's going to be getting in the way of the transmission where the shifter is. So I may have to move the bracket, or excuse me, the sub rail itself behind the tail shaft of the transmission, which will be okay. And considering that this is such a short cab, I'm not really worried about running a large span between sub rails. So now it becomes the fun part. And I have to get this body off the frame and at least slide it back. And as I was saying before, while it may look like I have some room, I gotta go ahead and get this all cleared out, get the body hanging off the back, so that way at least I can get some room to work on my sub rails. So I'm sure everyone's pausing the video right now to go ahead and comment on how janky of a setup this is. I ended up using a motorcycle ATV lift. It's set on the locks, obviously, to go ahead and hold that back up. And I had the front tied down with ratchet straps to keep it as sturdy as possible. Obviously, I'm not working on it. I just need it to stay out of the way. And I'm already coming into a first little I have to think about it moment with the sub rails. Obviously, I'm going to go sub rail across, probably another one across. And here I took the stock cross member and then cut it and put it back in place for my pedals to mount to. However, I feel like I have a big void over here and on this side that I'm going to have to fill in. So I'm going to have to think about that. And at least for now, I can start on the rails going lengthwise on the frame. So here we have our other longitudinal rail done. Of course, go figure that this side was not as easy as the other side, but I want to show you guys what I did here in case I missed it on taking the video. Pretty straightforward. This one I started from the back and worked my way forward, whereas the other one I started from the engine area and worked my way back. What I did here to go ahead and then clear the factory rivets for the what used to be the transmission cross member, I went ahead and heated this up with a MAP gas torch, used an old motorcycle axle bolt and a hammer, and went ahead and dimpled this up so it'll clear. And just so you guys can see, that's how she sits. Got your factory bolt holes and for the firewall itself, and same thing for the back using the existing holes. So now all I have to do is do the latitude, or bars going across to tie in, and then we should be able to put the body back on. Guys, went ahead and got the Subrails all finished up on here. I was really hoping to get the body back on over the frame and get everything tied down and welded in place. However, I realized that there is some repairs I have to do on the body itself before I go ahead and tie everything together. So it'd be counterproductive to put the body back on the frame over here just to take it back off. Just want to go over this real quick just in case I didn't grab the right video or take the right shot rather. This is 1x2 box tubing. This frame up until like here is flat, and then the rest, it actually runs uphill a little bit. So I went and had to do some pie cuts and get the box tubing to come up a little bit. And obviously throughout I had to make pie cuts on the other way to get the box tubing to come in to sit on top of the frame correctly. I did get lucky. This frame is wider than a car frame in this case. So I was able to get the box tubing to sit here fine. And then these pieces themselves had a little bit of a ledge to sit on, which made it nice as far as clamping purposes to keep everything flat. So I got lucky in that case. I would have loved to run the box tubing directly across the transmission. However, the transmission sits up a little high. So that's not possible. However, being that this cab is so short, it shouldn't matter once I put the floor down. And I have ideas already of how I want to bead roll the floor. So that should turn out really nice once I get to that point. Also, let's see here. Oh yeah, I used the Sharpie, obviously, marking the cross rails and using a speed square to make sure everything was 90. And what's nice about the speed square, there's a notch, or there's notches, so you can run your speed square directly across the tubing. And now I had 1 inch centered on the rails themselves. So it made life easier for me as far as measuring to make sure everything was square. I just want to say, is if you guys watching these videos, this is my first build. I haven't actually built a car from this far apart. So hopefully that's good motivation for you guys. If you guys are worried about not having the knowledge or the experience to do it, just as long as you take your time and just keep in mind of what you're doing. This stuff really isn't that difficult, or at least I haven't found it to be that difficult yet. And also just want to say, you know, you guys have been a lot of positive comments on the last 2 videos. Really enjoy reading the comments out there. You guys loving the truck itself and then the Pontiac engine. So hopefully going to keep pushing along on this build to get the body situated so we can get it back on. I'm going to be working on the pedals and the steering box. I picked up the steering box and the pedals that are out of an F1. Picked them up in Turlock, I want to say 2020, like right before COVID happened. So I have them to work with so I can get this all situated and really keep pushing along. I'm going to be also working on my Harley off camera, obviously, and you know, my flat track bike as well. So it's going to be a busy winter for me. So like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and try and keep pumping them out as much as I can. Take care, guys.